This is the School Success Podcast, a podcast for school leaders to learn from other school leaders what's working and what's not, and to get inspiration and encouragement, as well as strategies to grow school enrollment, connect with families, retain teachers, recruit teachers, and everything in between. You guys are heroes, and I cannot thank you enough for pouring into this next generation that's coming behind us. My goal is you will take at least one thing away from every episode that you can take back to your school to make it better than it is right now. Please enjoy the School Success Podcast. This podcast is brought to you by the Herzog Foundation.
Time for school.
Hey, school success makers, welcome to another edition of the School Success Podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Slater, and we're going to start a little kind of mini series. Probably we're going to shoot for, we'll see if this changes, but 8 episodes. So the next 8 weeks going over enrollment strategies and things for re-enrollment, all ideas around marketing and different things as we are in, enrollment season. So it is very top of mind for all the schools that I talk to on a regular basis every week, and we thought, well, let's jump into different things that you guys should be having in your mind, as this is top of mind for so many schools right now. So each week, come back and listen. These will be faster episodes. We're going to shoot for hopefully around that 10-minute mark or less. There might be some that are a little longer if we have to go into some more detail, but some more quick ones. You guys can jump in and learn something that you can add and use in your enrollment process or your marketing, whatever it ends up being. So it's going to be fun, and we're going to have a blast. So jumping into today's episode for this, we're going to be talking about surveys. So surveying, new families, existing families, and why surveys are so effective and things you need to be doing on a regular basis. So let's say you don't even know what a survey is as we start this out. So this would be where you can contact your families that are enrolled in your school right now, who enrolled, again, as we're recording this, talking about the enrollment season of 24-25. So they have started going to the school. They're currently in school right now. Send out a survey and just see, how are you doing? Ask them, how are they liking the school? Is there anything that they would improve or they wish was different or they wish was better? You can get really, really simple with this, or you can get super duper intricate. But what this is going to do, it's going to give your school some really valuable insight, things that you guys can work on potentially, hopefully in the next couple months as the school year will wind down in May, that maybe you really dive in and work on in the summer and have it ready to go for the next school year. Ideally, if it's hopefully something not crazy, you can implement right now and you can tell them like, hey, this is something we're going to work on, or this is something we're going to improve. And it can, of course, be one of two things. It could be things you need to improve that they put on the survey, or it could be things that you're doing amazing at and they're super stoked about. And you were like, wow, I didn't think people loved the chicken that we made in the cafeteria, or that we have 25 minutes of PE instead of 20 minutes of PE, or whatever it is. You will find out on these surveys, which is, again, really, really valuable coming from these families. Hey, school success makers, Mitchell here. I just want to take a really quick break from the show to give a big, huge shout out to the Herzog Foundation. I absolutely love the Herzog Foundation. I've been friends and partners with them for a couple years now, but we're bringing it to a whole new level. And I'm excited to share that our very own School Success Podcast is now featured on the Herzog Foundation Podcast Network. The Herzog Foundation is a powerhouse of resources designed to support schools like yours, from free training events through the Herzog Foundation Institute to their incredible online news publication, The Lion, and of course, our new podcast, Home. They have everything you need to stay informed and inspired. And if you're dreaming of starting your own Christian school or co-op, don't miss their online course, Schoolbox. It's a fantastic resource to help you get started on the right foot. At School Success, we're proud to partner with the Herzog Foundation to bring you these valuable tools and insights. So visit herzogfoundation.com to explore all they have to offer. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on these amazing opportunities for growth and success. And I love all the people over there, and I know you guys will too. So please go check them out, and you won't be disappointed. Now, back to the show. Because here's what's going to happen. Ideally, you can put a survey out, let's say at the end of the year, towards the end before Christmas and New Year's and all of that, and kind of get how are people feeling? Because what you want to be able to do, you want to be able to have these people say, hey, these are maybe some frustrations I'm having that I'm not happy about, that if you never asked, you would never know. So now you have the opportunity if it's within reason, to fix the problem or at least talk to the family about that problem that they have. Because during enrollment season, you of course have people that will pull their enrollment and go to another school, and maybe you have an exit interview with them and you say, hey, what's going on, we want to get what's going, why are you leaving? And they might share something so simple, so fixable, that if you had just known about it 4 months ago or taken it seriously 4 months ago, maybe when you heard about it multiple times through the grapevine, they would have stayed. And if your tuition, I always like to use the $10,000 a year mark for tuition. I think that's a good average from the schools that we talk to. There's plenty of higher ones and plenty of lower ones. But you lose that person, I mean, it's $10,000 a year gone. And if they had stayed and been there for another, the average is 4 to 5 years, that's $50,000 that you could have fixed if you just listened to them and solved that problem or that irritation that they had. So it's extremely important to be surveying your families on a regular basis and seeing how are you doing as a school and fixing those problems that they might have. Now, again, like I mentioned earlier, you can do this with really simple surveys. Maybe it's just a free Google form that you send out and say, hey, how are we doing on a scale of 1 to 10 in academics and and how you deal with our technology that we have, and how you feel like your kid is liking it. How do they like it on a scale of 1 to 10? How do you like it on a scale of, very simple. So you can get and go, ooh, we got a lot of 5s. Like, that's not great. Oh, we got a lot of 8s. Oof, we got some 1s, 2s, and 3s. I need to be making sure for sure we reach out to that family and see, hey, why did you give us a 3? Let's talk through that. Again, you might not want to have those conversations with families. Some of them probably won't be very fun, but I'm sure you'd rather have the conversation earlier to try and get them to stay and fix the problem, if it's a fixable problem, before they leave, and then you have to try and fill that seat with somebody else. You would love to keep the people that are there that you love, that know the culture, that you're familiar with, and you've grown to probably love and appreciate that family. So it's a pretty big deal. This is why surveys are so important. It's why we encourage clients to be doing this. It's every year. And so a couple of different strategies for this. If you have, let's say, 300 families, 300 students, and you just send out a random survey in January, and you're like, here you go. And now you have to sift through 300 surveys. Like that's pretty, it's pretty extensive because with your already busy day. So maybe you do 10 or 20 in September and 10 or 20 in October, and you kind of like drip them out a little bit into different months so you can look through them as they come through. Now, of course, not everybody's going to probably fill it out. You could try and make it mandatory. I'm sure that probably won't work to make it mandatory, but you want to make sure you're getting you want to make sure you're getting that data. And so I encourage you guys, do a survey every year, but this is a perfect time as enrollment season and re-enrollment season is happening. Get a judge on like how your families are doing, what's making them tick, what are maybe some frustrations that they're having, or again, like I said, what they really, really love about the school. Because here's something that might happen. Maybe you send out the survey to 300 families, and on 10 or 20 of them, you have people say, man, I really wish we had a cooking category, or a cooking class or something. You're like, well, there's 20 people that want this. I bet you we could make that happen. We have a kitchen in the school, or we could bring in somebody from the community to do a teaching class that is a sponsor or a donor of the school. And you start working your connections. You can maybe send out an email to your donor list or whatever that may be. And then somebody goes, yeah, we can add that. And then you just made 20 people love you even more than they already do because you're solving the problem that they put on the survey. And so again, if you're a school that's not doing that at all, a couple of resources for you. There's, of course, SurveyMonkey that's out there. I don't know. I think there's a free plan on it. There might be paid as well. You got Google Forms. I mean, you could do really basic, just sending out an email and say, hey, would you let us know how we're doing? I don't advise that one. I think it should be a little bit better where they go in, they click a couple buttons and fill it out. And then you can get an actual spreadsheet of like what they've responded with and actionable data in front of your eyeballs. Emails would kind of get pretty tedious. Or really good friend of mine, Clint Holden, he owns a company called SchoolRight. I would go check out them and have a conversation with him. You can see them at schoolright.net. It's school and then right, RIGHT.net. Really good friend of mine over there. Love that guy to death. Yeah, he does surveys for schools. And so you could talk with him and he could build out He has already ones that are like pre-made, but you can add your own questions, and they're pretty in depth. And so that one, you get a lot of really, really good information from those surveys. And again, something that you could then do every year. You can make sure even your families, when they enroll, they know that, hey, this survey is going to be coming. We want to make sure you fill it out later in the year. And it's just something that you guys can use every single year. But again, that obviously would cost some money having somebody help you do it. If you guys are a current client with us, we have a software called 𝑧enrollment. So if you're using 𝑧enrollment already to manage your enrollment process, you could build a basic form inside of 𝑧enrollment. That'll be included if you're already a 𝑧enrollment client. And you could build out a simple survey in there, email it, text it out to different families within your school, and you could do it with that. Hey, I just want to take a really quick break from the podcast to highlight one of our amazing partners and sponsors, ClassReach. If you're a new school administrator or founder and are struggling to keep up with all the hassles of planting a new school, like collecting tuition, communicating with parents, or handling student data, then you need ClassReach. ClassReach is the all-in-one software that helps with everything from admissions and tuition to classroom management and parent communications. Sign up for a free consultation with one of their school specialists and see how ClassReach can help your school grow today. You guys can check them out online, classreach.com. They are a kingdom-minded company, and I love their leadership team there. I've become friends with a lot of them. They truly are a great company. I support them, and I love them, and you guys will love them too. Check them out at classreach.com. Now, back to the show. So a lot of different options. I know it can be overwhelming to go, oh my goodness, what do I even put in there? So reach out to experts. You're like Clint with SchoolRight, if you need a really big, robust one. If you're a client within the 𝑧enrollment or want to be a client in 𝑧enrollment, you can check that out at 𝑠enrollment.com, which is the word enrollment with Z at the beginning of it, 𝑠enrollment.com. And you could sign up for that, and you could do surveys inside of there with, like, again, you build it on your own with a form. Or if you want to use Google Forms, SurveyMonkey, there's definitely plenty of technologies and options and softwares that are out there that could do this for you. But this is a thing I want to make sure all of you guys are doing, especially during enrollment season. And if you feel like you're not going to get a ton of people that sign up for it, you could always incentivize them with a gift card or some type of raffle or something like, hey, we're going to pick one person out of this to get a $100 Amazon gift card. So at least there's maybe a little bit of more people that will go, oh, I definitely want to do the survey. Maybe I'll win the gift card. But this is going to help your school. I know it could be painful, maybe some of the responses that you get, but you're going to rather have those earlier than later, so you can save the school a ton of money and obviously make the school more money, keeping people enrolled and keeping you guys strong and going strong. So I think I've maybe exhausted my options and resources. I think I'm right around the 10-minute mark already at this point. Of course, I want to highlight our 3 free resources we want to make sure you guys are aware of. And the first one, of course, is what you're listening to right now. It is the podcast. Weekly episodes dropping every Monday. So make sure you are subscribed and tuning in to get those episodes every single week. And if you haven't, we'd love a 5-star review if you're loving the content that we're putting out. That would be really, really appreciated. The second one is on our website, schoolsuccessmakers.com. In the top right-hand corner, there is a way to subscribe to the School Success Report, which is our weekly email that goes out with different just resources, different blogs the team has written, and we highlight a different podcast episode and some different educators inside of there. We want to make sure you guys are not missing out on that. So sign up for that, schoolsuccessmakers.com. In the top right-hand corner, School Success Report. And last but not least, on Facebook, we have our free private community called School Success Makers. We want to make sure you guys are in there and around other educators and community, because community is awesome and important. So make sure you're in there. I'm personally in there and would love to see you there as well. So surveys, go knock them out. Go check out ClintSchoolRight.net. And of course, if you needed something else, a software, 𝑠enrollment.com could do that. SurveyMonkey, MailChimp, not MailChimp, my goodness. SurveyMonkey, the monkey threw me off with MailChimp. Okay, so, and then Google Forms. Lots of different options. Do surveys for your schools. Let's have an awesome enrollment season. We'll be back here next week with another awesome resource for your enrollment season here at the School Success Podcast. So we will see you then. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Herzog Foundation.